Ram trucks, built to serve.
Live from New York, it's the show that will be addressing Brock Purdy's interceptions shortly. It's the second hour of First Things First. Today, is Lamar Jackson the only person stopping the Chiefs from a three-peat? Meanwhile, Justin Fields, is he moving into the QB1 spot? Russ did practice a little bit today, but is he not long for that position? But right now, we're going to head to Jets camp, where reports were yesterday that Aaron Rodgers was a little frustrated after dealing with some wild snaps and being stepped on by his own lineman, which sent him to the turf. Here's Alan Lazard on the day. Take a listen.
You're talking about one of the best, if not the best, quarterback of all time. And his standard and level of play is something that a lot of guys haven't even seen yet. And even this organization, they haven't really been with him on a game day, because being with him on the sideline on a Sunday is different than being with him on camp or being with him in preseason. He obviously expects the same standard that he holds himself to out of everyone else. And today just didn't resemble that at all. I think as an offense, we were just a little bit sloppy at first.
Okay. Brew, what was your reaction to that?
Well, look, I got no problem with Rodgers doing this. I actually like it. All right, these aren't children. This isn't CYO or Pop Warner. You can yell, you can demand, you can challenge players, and especially when you have the pedigree of Aaron Rodgers. And so I actually think, to me, this is a sign of him being engaged. And, there's that old adage, the coaches say, if I don't yell at you, that's when you should worry, because then I don't think you got any potential. So I think Rodgers being so engaged with guys, I think it's a good sign. So I got no issues with this at all.
It's interesting because I heard he was that upset at mandatory minicamp too, and was yelling at guys. You're not at mandatory minicamp. You probably could have got some of those reps out of the way, maybe worked out some of those kinks, but I know that wasn't important. And this practice is important. And all these practices are important. But I can tell you from a head coaching perspective, from year to year, typically around this time, you have one of those sloppy practices. And it's usually on the offensive side of the ball because you're a little bit tired. The defense is putting in more pressures and disguises. So guys jump off sides, the ball's on the ground. It happens almost religiously in each minicamp around this time. So that's normal. And I like the idea that the quarterback is being demanding and holding people to a high standard. And that's what you would expect, as long as you're holding yourself to that same high standard. I would like this to be coming from the head coach in terms of what his expectations are, as opposed to this is Aaron Rodgers driven. He can coach and he can push, but he is still a player on the team. And look, there should be some of the same emphasis from the head coach as opposed to just Aaron.
You didn't take that as sounding a little Brady and Tampa Bay-esque? We're like, you know what? I'm here now. I'm going to show you what winning looks like, what championship football looks like, and I'm going to demand a lot from you guys.
Yeah, but we're in year 2 of Aaron being there, so hopefully he showed him last training camp what winning looked like, and he spent the whole season with him, so hopefully on game day he showed him somewhat. I know he wasn't a player the whole time, but hopefully on the sideline he showed him that same standard, and in meetings he was holding guys to standards. So we're a year into this, and ideally some of the Rodgers effect would have taken hold organizationally, as opposed to this being, a reintroduction to what his expectations are.
All right. Rodgers sat down with the NFL Network and talked about his future with the Jets. Here he is with Judy Battista. Take a listen.
You wanted to have 2 good years with the Jets, maybe try to win 2 Super Bowls. Does that mean 2 more, or does last year count as 1? Could this be the last season for you?
I would say that there's a lot of sentiment that last year wasn't a great year for me. So I'd like to still have 2 great years.
All right, Brew, what does success look like for Rodgers these years?
Well, for this year, I think success would be him playing well and kind of reestablishing himself as a quarterback. I'm not even going to say a top 5 quarterback. I'm going to say somebody who's kind of in that second tier on the fringe of the top 5. And then they win or they don't even have to win the division, but they make the playoffs. Like, if he gets them to the playoffs, it'd be the first time in, I think, 14 years. I think that would be a successful year. And then they'll feel like they got something to build on next year. And I do think over these 2 years, he's S-Bob, Super Bowl or bust. And because of him, like when his introductory press conference, I think it was, when he's talking about how lonely the Lombardi trophy from 1969 looked, like he brought that all up himself. If he doesn't bring up Super Bowl, Coach, people are looking at it like this is the Jets. Just make them good, make them competitive, and that's fine, and play well individually. But he brought up the Super Bowl with the Lombardi trophy. Now he's saying there's like 8 to 12 teams every year that could win the Super Bowl. We're in that group. Like, he's saying it himself, which I like because it shows that he's really engaged in trying to do something. So I do think it's going to be Super Bowl or bust. Obviously, his legacy is set. It's not like he's going to be viewed as a failure if he doesn't do it. But I think he's definitely Super Bowl or bust within 2 years.
Bro, you're like that teacher. Like, if you have a good relationship with you get a little bit easier grade than if you don't have a good relationship with you. I mean, you S-Bob like 3/4 of the league, and then you hit Caleb Williams with an S-Bob. Like, this is absolutely S-Bob for him.
This year?
Absolutely this year.
Wow.
I showed you the graphic the other day of Tom Brady in his last year in New England and Aaron Rodgers in the last year in Green Bay, and then what happened a year later. Now, I know Aaron got hurt last year, but a year later, Tom Brady brings Tampa Bay to the Super Bowl, wins the Super Bowl. Why can't Aaron Rodgers do that? That's why he was brought there. That's why they gave up 2 draft picks. That's why they went and got his coach. That's why they went and got his players. That's why they excused him from mandatory minicamp. That's why he has as much say as he has. With all the things that he's been given, plus $75 million for the previous 2 years, yeah, you better bring him to the Super Bowl. You better rejuvenate this fan base. And it's all set up. You've got a great defense. You've got all these things available to you. You better win. And if you don't win and you don't win big, you won't have to worry about the second year because everybody will be fired. You'll be gone too. And if he doesn't win the Super Bowl, how's he going to get that gigantic contract that he needs in the second year? Because right now he's scheduled to make $22 million on the cap, which is $2.5 million in real money. He's not playing for that.
But
he's playing for $60 million.
Here's my thing, though, Coach, because this to me is S-Bob. If you don't win the Super Bowl, you're like, it's not a successful season. If they get to the AFC Championship game, you don't think Jets fans are going to be ecstatic?
They can be ecstatic, but you have a window that's about this big. He's going to be 41 in December, okay? So we're at the end of the line here. They gave up a lot for you. Cash, draft picks, your ability to pick personnel, coaching staff, all these things. You are given every single thing and a good defense. Right. And that was a complaint in Green Bay a lot, right? Didn't have the good defense. You got that. You got the receivers you wanted. You got the coach you wanted. You got the money you wanted. You got everything you wanted. Go win. You know who else won? Tom Brady.
Well, he's not Tom Brady.
Yeah, he's great. You want to be great? Be great. Here's the team.
Are you buying? Are they S-Bob?
S-Bob or?
I believe that they're S-Bob. Here's the thing. I believe that they're S-Bob because I actually believe in the last B. That if they don't start, they don't need to make if they make the AFC Championship game and lose to the Chiefs at Arrowhead, I don't think Robert Saleh is being fired.
Look, if that's
in a shootout,
I hear you that he's going to be 41. He'll be a year older this year.
There can be the way that you exit the playoffs can affect decisions that you make. You know, if he goes to the AFC and they lose in a shootout, yeah. Look, there can be things where he stays, but the expectation, and he said it himself, and you said it.
He's saying it.
He said, "That's lonely. I'm going to go get one of those." Yeah. Well, you've been there 2 years. You're mad at the way they're snapping the ball and guys jumping off sides and you're coaching them up. Great. Bring them to the Super Bowl.
It's a little LeBron-esque, Brew, in this sense. I don't expect the Jets to have like an incredible regular season, but if they make the playoffs, I wouldn't want to play Aaron Rodgers.
Really?
I wouldn't want to play Aaron Rodgers.
See, I've just talked about his struggles in the championship games.
Yeah,
Even the one he won, he didn't play well.
I know, but Tom Brady had to win 4 road games. He didn't play great in all those games. He got bailed out a little bit on his defense.
But you know what he did? He won the Super Bowl.
He won, yeah. But he didn't play amazing. And I love Tom Brady, but he didn't play like.
Coach's S-Bob list is longer than mine.